Next up is Naspers. It's a multinational media giant with stakes in internet businesses in emerging markets, pay TV and print media. The group's most significant assets are a 35% stake in Chinese internet company Tencent and a wholly owned Multichoice in Africa. The company has a market cap of 920 billion rand, a PE ratio of 100 and a dividend yield of 0.2%. Now this is another story of ignoring the PE.
Yes.
Because in fact, that stake in Tencent is now worth, I checked today, it's worth about 1 trillion rand.
That's 106% of Naspers' entire market cap.
And this is determined by the Hong Kong market. It's not like a guesstimate of the value. The actual stock exchange, a very efficient stock exchange of Hong Kong, has said this is what Tencent is worth.
Yeah, if you even half believe in market efficiency, then this is ridiculous. So basically what it means is that one business in the bigger Naspers group is worth more than the entire Naspers group, which basically means that the market is assigning a negative value to everything else this company owns. The entire Multichoice, all the Russian assets, all the Indian assets, all the e-commerce assets, everything worth less than zero.
Okay, I want to just focus on Tencent though, because this theme is about
social media,
and we do talk about Naspers quite often.
Yeah.
So they've got quite a few platforms, QQ, WeChat. It seems like the gaming aspect is the really profitable one. It's where they make most of their money.
Yeah, so that makes up the biggest chunk of their revenue. But what makes this business very special is the way that they are able to integrate these platforms across one another. When I downloaded the WeChat app this morning, and I just kind of played around a bit, I was already...
So you became the 625th million subscriber or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, they're moving towards the 700 millions now. It's a ridiculous base. So as I was playing around, one of the first things that came up was games and intergame and free trial for game, and that's what makes this business so powerful, is the fact to cross-sell over these different platforms.
Yeah, and I mean, the crazy thing about it is people use real money to buy like fake money in this gaming world, to buy characters and lives and jump through levels. I'm not personally involved in it, but it's definitely something very addictive. And I agree. I've also downloaded WeChat before. It's quite noisy.
Yeah.
And I know in China you can hail cabs with it. So it's like a combination of Uber. It's the gaming. It's a social platform. It's got everything. It's got advertising. And it seems to be really working in that Chinese environment. Yeah,
I mean, for South Africans, it seems to be a little bit too complicated. I also find it very, very busy and difficult to use. But apparently in China, they absolutely love it. And the other two growth areas for these guys is the value-added services, which you mentioned briefly, hailing a taxi from your WeChat app. I mean, they've basically replicated the Uber business model, but they just use the WeChat app instead of using a separate app, which it just works for some reason in China. And then the other thing that we really need to speak about when it comes to Tencent is the fact that only 20% of their revenue is display ads. That is 97% of Facebook's revenue. It's 86% of Twitter's revenue. These guys still have a lot of gains to make in display ads. They haven't even started on the video ads that we were talking about earlier. So still so many areas for growth, so much still to do.
So they're not a one-trick pony, that's what you're trying to say. But they are, and I suppose this is a slight risk, they are protected by the Chinese authorities, because the likes of Facebook and Google and so on aren't allowed in there. But I think they've already grown such a big base and following that even if there were more competition coming in, it's a kind of that multiplier effect that you're part of the platform because everyone else is.
Yeah, and it's not like they're not used to competition. Alibaba and Baidu are formidable competitors. So anything new will be something new, and they'll just have to deal with it then. But for now,
it's a great business. So
absolutely.
Hot or not?
On Tencent or Naspers or both?
You can give both.
I'm hot on both.
Okay, good. I agree with you 100%, and I think getting into Naspers is a great way to get a bit of Tencent and then all the other exciting businesses that they're involved in.